Okay, I guess we're live. Saturday, about 1:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're just going to hang out today. If anyone wants to come in and chat, we're going to just do that. Laid back session. I think last Tuesday I did a 2-hour session, just shooting the bull. We never know what goes on with today. The only thing that caught my eye today was, let me see, pull it up. Yeah, Carl is still buying more million token. He bought like 3 more buys today for 629 million token for a total of 5,165. So yeah, he bought these a little bit more than an hour ago. I just posted this a moment ago. Let's see now. Where's his address? I wonder how he bought these. It looks like he bought them like right in a row. And here it is. Let's see. Yeah, he bought them 1 hour and 39 minutes ago. 3 transactions, 315, 188, and 124. That's probably pretty close to $10,000. Kind of curious why he just didn't do one buy and save on the gas fees, unless he thought that he didn't want to push up the price too much. But yeah, even a $10,000 buy is only going to push the price up 2-3%. So USDC for a million token, he swapped 5,000 there. Paid a transaction fee of $48 in ETH. I mean, that's not bad at all. I mean, I paid close to like $90. His second transaction, $48.13 in fees. And let's take a look at the other one for 125 million token, $5,000 there. So maybe he spent closer to like 15 grand. I figured he probably spent a little more than $15. Just say $15.50 times the 600, and here he spent about $48 each of those transactions. So he spent 629 times about $15. You know, it should be about 10 grand. Yeah, let's see what the price is. 1567. So that's that. Let's take a look at million token chart. I know that's probably what everybody's looking for. So we are above the 21 moving average on the 4-hour, which I consider pretty much bullish for million token. We're above it. I'm bullish. I know people. This is kind of like a waiting game, because people know Carl has money and he'll sell anything. He'll buy. He said he'll buy when the price is below $16. So, people might want to wait until. Let's see now. Well, he was smart to buy when it was $14, $15, and it's still $15 now. So I think when Bitcoin comes, finishes this weekend, starts next week, I think it's going to rebound real hard. I think the on-chain analysis is people are buying big, like they were when Bitcoin was like 10,000. If you look at all the crypto Twitter tweets. So I mean, this is going to be a good move for him if the whole crypto market starts rebounding. If I heard that every time China bans Bitcoin, if you wait 3 months, usually it's up over 50%. I think 53%. This was from James from Invest Answers. Love that guy's YouTube channel. So he has a lot of good facts. So if history repeats itself, if Bitcoin goes up 50%, altcoins, could go up, more. So whatever you buy today could go up 50% or more. And I guess I should say this is not financial advice, right? Let me throw up that disclaimer. Yeah, I am not your financial advisor. This is only to be used as entertainment. Do your own research. But I'm just talking with about 4 or 5 years of crypto experience. If you go from the high to the low here on the fib channels, you still got this golden pocket of we got to break $16. I think once we break $16, we could be on our way to higher highs, but we've got to break that. Just like on Bitcoin, we have to break like 52,000. I think it was 52,000, 53,000. I'll pull it up real quick. Yeah, somewhere around. Yeah, if we break 52,000, we'll get out of this golden pocket. So this is on the weekly chart. Bitcoin is still at that between the 21 moving average and EMA. So, it's still doing the tests for the bull market support. And if we bounce up, I mean, we could have a long bull run, because the last time we touched it was September 7th, and we waited. It took months. We didn't retest until May. So yeah, it's been like over a year since we tested it. So imagine, if we go up for another, year, well, less than a year, but it could be we could have another another bull run like this. Except it could be like 2017. The next 3 months could look something like this. I think it's going to go up even more parabolic, because everybody's going to assume they can make a quick buck just like in 2017. But most people won't realize you got to get out once it goes up like a hockey stick, which people never learn. Just like with Million Token, the new people that don't know what they're doing. Let me get this on the daily chart. They just see everybody making tons of money, so they get in here, and when they start losing money, they start calling it a scam, and it's just because it went up so much so fast. So anyway, so what do we got here on the daily chart? We are so close to breaking that 21 moving average in the daily, but until then, that could also be a sign. When we break this, we'll probably break it and then come down and retest it and then go up. That's probably what's going to happen. When that happens, who knows? Hopefully sooner than later, though. So what else is new? Anything else new? I don't see no questions in the chat. So this I thought was interesting. Willy Woo, who's an on-chain analysis, says Bitcoin has entered the never going to give up phase of the Astley cycle. So we'll click on that. So he's saying where we are here today, we were back here in October of 2020, and we had this big growth spurt. And, I hope so. I hope so. So that would give us another, 3 months of great bull run. And then I still think we're going to have a bear market whenever this cycle goes. I don't think we're quite at the Bitcoinization yet where everything just goes up. People will just take profits when they make their money. I know I will. I'm not going to risk, if I have millions of dollars, I'm not going to risk not taking it. Because, if I could retire and change my life, I will. And, once you have life-changing money, don't get sucked into that whole hodl mentality. Live your life. You got one life to live. So I noticed the Million Tokens on SushiSwap now. And just be careful because, just like the liquidity is not there. So if you had $1,000, you can get 51 million tokens on SushiSwap. But on Uniswap, you can get 64 or 25%, 26% more. So as always, if you're going to buy any crypto, just check all the exchanges and, get the most for your money. And it goes without saying, as if you're selling, you want to get the most USDC or Ethereum or whatever you want to swap it for. Go where the liquidity is. So that's that. I was looking at the whale wallets. I think that's Carl's address. Do I already have it pulled up? Yeah, this is Tech Lead. And I think here's Carl right here with 5,164. So he's probably in the top 10 if you knock out Tech Lead and these bridges for Uniswap and Polygon and another Uniswap and Git.io. So yeah, he's probably in the top 10. as far as, normal people that have million token wallets. So there's Pancake. I don't really pay too much attention to Pancake Swap, but it's there. I'm not too sure the liquidity is there though. Let's just figure that out. So if I had BUSD, let's say I had $1,000 of that, how many million tokens would I get? 66. That's good. Okay, liquidity is there. Here's Uniswap. Let's say USDC had $1,000. You get 66. 62. Wow. So right now you'd get more on PancakeSwap. I wonder if that's because of the fees. No, the fees are separate. So man, yeah, you'll get a better deal on PancakeSwap. So I'm kind of glad I did that. So I still am not on PancakeSwap, but if you do Polygon, this is the quick swap on the Polygon. $1,000 USDC, 63. So PancakeSwap's the better deal today. Interesting. Very interesting. What else is there? So you got some chats here going. When are you gonna call DCA out? DCA out. Oh yeah, it's always dollar cost average. Dollar cost average is you just buy, on a regular basis. For me, every paycheck I get every 2 weeks, some of it's going into crypto. I just paid literally yesterday, over $1,000 in property taxes for my quarterly property taxes on my house. I had to pay the mortgage and car loan. So if it wasn't for that, I would have put a couple more dollars in crypto. Every month's different, but I put a couple $1,000s in every month. So that's my DCA. So somebody was asking about TA basics. What's the 20 moving average, 21 days, 21 hours? So for me, let's just look up Bitcoin. This is tradingview.com. Everybody can get an account with tradingview.com. It's free. I pay the pro version so I can get some indicators like the volume profile. I'm not gonna get into that because you want the basics. But yeah, get a TradingView account if you don't already have one. You can't view Million Token on it though right now. They did have it, which was pretty cool, but I don't even think it looked very good when they did have it. I think they're gonna need some more volume, and what's becoming more popular if it gets on exchanges, then maybe it'll be on TradingView. So basically, when you're on TradingView, you got this thing up here called indicators. You click on that, and you can search for certain indicators. And these are the indicators I use on a regular basis. Not so much now, but the three big ones I would use is the stochastic RSI, the relative strength index, and the MACD right here. And so once you click on them, you'll get these charts, the RSI, the second one down here is MACD, and the stochastic RSI. And you can rearrange them and stuff by clicking arrows and stuff. So you've got your intervals, you've got the daily up here, you got your weekly and the monthly. So Bitcoin, it's a long-term thing. You just usually want to look on the weekly chart. And once you put up your moving averages, that was another one up here. If you click indicators, and I think it was Quad MA. Let me take a look. Yeah, Quad MA. If you clicked on that, or Quadruple MA, it pulls up 4 indicators. You put it in, and it'll show up here. You click this little wheel for settings. You've got the different colors. You've got your inputs. You might have to change them. This one's different. So this is 10, 21, and 50. And usually I do, I don't know why it's set like that. 21 for my first one. Then I do 50. And I do 100 for the second. And then on the fourth, I do 200. Those are the ones that most people follow. And then if you're going to be doing this for the first time, get some colors in your mind. I always use white for the 21, red for the 200, and then I usually use orange for the 50 and the green for the 200. And then you might have to just change your colors, whatever. But if you have, once you start doing lots of graphs, you're going to want to just stick with certain colors for certain moving averages. And then you'll get these lines on your chart. So basically for Bitcoin, if it bounces off this 21 moving average on the weekly, that you're in a bull run. And then when it breaks it, it's like kind of like a danger zone. But with the Bitcoin cycles every 4 years, it's, it peaks every 4 years, but basically because of the halving. Now, the halving is going to have less of an effect over time. And it really, what is it? Was it 900 Bitcoins were mined a day, but now it's like 450. And then the next halving, it's going to be half of that and so on. It should have less of an effect, but as Bitcoin increases with value, it's still going to be very valuable to have some Bitcoin, but I think eventually the halving won't have as much of an impact as it does these previous years, which would explain why this whole Bitcoin trend is kind of arching like a, slowly tapering off. It's not going straight up. And you've got diminishing returns too. Let me get rid of this. If you pull up the BLX chart, you're just going to get prices from yesterday, by the way. But it's a nice chart to have because it shows a good history portion of Bitcoin. It goes all the way back to July 19th, 2010, when it was 6 cents. So, that's good enough. And then you got your golden crosses and your death crosses. So if you've got a fast moving average coming underneath a slow moving average, that's usually called a golden cross. And that's bullish because now the momentum is driving the price higher. Where if you have a fast moving average breaking a slower moving average, they call it a death cross. The momentum's breaking down, but they're lagging indicators. They're not going to tell you ahead of time. And the RSI, when it starts reaching these high levels, when it's like 90 or above, it's usually overbought zone. And if you come down below, 40 or so, it's underbought zone, a good deal basically. So, but the higher the time frame you're on, the more significant these values will be. So if you go on the monthly chart, Bitcoin hasn't gone down on the monthly below 45 too often. But when you did, like if you just stuck with this one rule and said, I'm not going to buy Bitcoin until it reaches 45 on the RSI on the monthly, you would have been really good. You would wait, and after this big sell-off, you would have bought somewhere around here, and that would have been the bottom. And after the 2017 bull run, if you waited on the monthly, the RSI was 44 something here, you would have bought pretty close to the dip. Right there. It may not have been the very, very bottom, but pretty close. And another thing you could do is on the monthly, well, this is the 50 on the monthly, but you could always buy it whenever it touches that. Usually I'd look on the weekly, and then it'll be the 200 moving average, the red line. So you could have bought here, it would have been the bottom. Here, it would have been the bottom, like if you missed it. It touched it here, and it touched it here during the COVID crisis. It actually went way down. I can't believe how far it went down below that line. People that's just panic. 22% below the 21 moving average on the weekly is just insane. It's never happened before. That's just how crazy people were. And then of course it just shot up like a rocket after that. The MACD on the monthly, it looks like we're just starting to take off. Let me blow it up. I don't like how this thing's going to roll over though and create like a death cross like up here. So we could have some more pain, but generally it looks like we had the dip. Maybe it'll just kind of go sideways a bit like we did here and then go up. And if that happens again, it was kind of like here, sideways and up, but the price has been moving up since then. And stochastic RSI, I like the RSI and the moving averages, personally, and historic trends and times and stuff like that. Somebody says, I love your stream, Tim. Well, thank you. Somebody says, "Are you going to keep buying, or 1% was your final target?" Um, no. Well, I'm glad I got 1%. That was just bugging me so much because when I did that interview with Andre Geek, and that was just a small part of that YouTube stream video that he did. He said I almost had 1%, and it kind of just bugged me that I didn't have 1%. So I do now. I have no more than 1%, obviously, because the price of Million Token kept coming down. I said earlier in my videos that if the price would ever come down to the low levels to where I bought before, I'd buy another 1%. I don't know if I'm going to buy another 1%. It would have to come down like almost like a 50% drop from where we are now for me to buy another 1%. But if I bought another 1%, I would have to cash out. I'd probably cash out some Bitcoin, to do it. Because if I save, if I put a couple of $1,000 every month, it'd take me forever to get 1%. Unless Million Token just grinds down, I'd buy another 1% if it would have to break this $10.74, because there's no support here between $1 and then it went all the way up to like $11. There's no history right there. I don't know why I did that. The liquidity. I think there was such demand for Million Token that the liquidity providers weren't there. So, if there's no liquidity, the price is going to shoot up. And then by the time people started buying here, the demand was just crazy. So everybody that bought in this general area, most people I know holding Million Token are in negative. The only people that are in positives are probably the ones that bought really early on, or they figured that, well, this is the top, and they're trading the swings or day trading. So every time it drops, 20, 50%, they're going to buy a big bag of Million Token. And then when it hits like a crucial moving average, like this white line, they'll sell. And then when it comes down to this, they'll buy what they bought before. And then when it goes up close to this trend line, they'll sell, and so on. But eventually a floor is going to be met. I remember seeing when we were back here in July, some people were selling at tremendous losses. They just wanted to get out, and they didn't hold. So I would rather hold and wait it out than take a loss. Now I was also thinking, as far as tax purposes, let's see. I had to cash out a lot of altcoins early on to get head start on this Million Token, because who has thousands of dollars just sitting around as pocket change? Not me. But I had altcoins I cashed out, so I'm gonna have to pay a lot in taxes on that. Now, if Million Token toward the end of the year hasn't gone up, as it would be smart for me to sell some Million Token. You write it off against your gains, right? But I would just buy it back. So that's an option. It would be a smart. Right now, I could sell a Million Token now, knowing that I could write off the gains I sold on the crypto, the altcoins I sold earlier on in July for Million Token. Let's see now, how would that would work out. It goes against my HODL mentality, but it would save me. It would save me money, right up. Straight up, save me money. If I wait, and Million Token goes up to, I think let's just say my cost average was $20. If it goes up above 20, and then I won't be able to write it off anything. Yeah, I'm also thinking like in December or November, if Bitcoin is back at let's say $100,000 or higher, I'm not going to care, because I'll be sitting on millions of dollars, and I'm not going to worry about a few $1,000s in taxes I have to pay. So, I'm going to, if the crypto market thinks, let's say the China ban or whatever, the market goes down for whatever reason, it's like another C19 virus variant comes out, and the market tanks, I'm still going to have to pay a lot of taxes because I sold some altcoins I would sell some crypto just as a tax write-off, but probably buy something back, if not the same coin, because you don't want if you have some losers, you would sell them, take the tax write-off, because I have some gainers I sold earlier too. But I'm not done buying Million Token. Not if the prices are this low. No, I'm not. But I'm not buying. You know, I mean, I bought $70,000 one smack, and then $80,000 another smack. I'm not going to be doing that. I know if I buy $6,000 or $7,000, I raise the price up like 2-3% right now. I'd raise the price up too much if I did one big buy. But I did that early on because I just knew where the potential of this token was just huge. I just didn't know where the top was. But if you do a 10x in any coin, you should probably take profits. So that was a hard lesson for me to learn. Hard pill to swallow. So I'm not gonna do that again. If I get into a project early on and it does a 10x, at least you should take out your initial investment plus some profits. You have to take out extra because you're gonna have to pay taxes. So you wouldn't just take out your initial investment, because you still have to pay taxes. So maybe take out double your investment so you have some money to pay taxes, and then you still have some profits. And then if it keeps going up, you can take profits along the way. But I would totally sell everything. But if it goes down, then at least you got a bag of profits and enough to pay your taxes. So can't forget about taxes. So we got 9 people in. That's cool. Let's see now. I was looking at the dollar. I haven't looked at the dollar index value in a long time. This is US dollar currency index on the monthly chart. So this goes all the way back to 1968, basically when I was born. Anyway, this is how I understand it. The dollar is trending down. You could ignore the writings here, but I'm thinking like this is a high overvalued area. This is a high overvalued area, and we're in a high overvalued area now. As I understand it, basically the world has a hard time functioning when the dollar is too strong. So there's a reason why the dollar kind of devalues. Let me get a drink of water real quick. My point is, here we were in January of 2017 at a high point for the dollar value. And what happened with crypto, Bitcoin? It skyrocketed. And then here we are, February 2018. So this little section here was the bull run for the crypto market. If the dollar devalues, those hard assets are going to increase. So we are here now, right here. This faded line right here, I think it's what's going to happen, because it happened here and here. When we hit it, we came on down to these lower levels. We went up, and then we got rejected, and then I'm surprised we even had a double peak here. That was interesting, especially with all the money printing they're doing. Geez, like since Bitcoin was invented, we've increased our money supply by like 70%, and it's like that's just crazy. So if we go down to these lower levels to here, imagine what the crypto market's going to do. I mean, this only dropped 13-14%, and Bitcoin had gone from, let's see now, January. Where was January? Went from $963 to almost $20,000. What do you think the crypto market's going to do when the dollar value comes all the way down to like here? It kind of boggles my mind. Somebody was asking me about Zugcoin, another million token supply. I looked into it one time. I think you were asking me about this before on YouTube. I don't know anything about it. I tried to look into it. I don't know anything about it. But I did mention, anybody could create a coin. I know that one guy created a billion, but you can create a whole bunch of other coins. It's just you don't know what the community's behind it. And I don't know anything about unless I look it up. I'm not gonna talk about it. But I try to look into it, but I didn't. I like Tech Lead, and the nice thing about this small project of Million Token is things can move very fast. It's like I remember something about some talk of Million Token going on Pancake Swap or on Binance, and all of a sudden, like that weekend, it was there. Boom! Like you know how other projects it would take forever to get something like that done, and then it was like, oh, we're gonna go on the Polygon network, and then all of a sudden, boom! Not only were we on Polygon network, but he also threw some on Solana too, on the Solana network. I just wish there was some more liquidity on both those platforms. And now we're on SushiSwap. So again, it's there, but the liquidity is not quite there. But my point is, Tech Lead's a one-man company. I mean, he puts the work in and it's done. Fast too, so I like that about that. And if other people are going to copy him, you're just copying from the original. So the I think the way so far the progress of Million Token is going well, and I don't know if you could say that about other projects. So that's all I'm going to say about other projects. I talk about some other coins I'm watching, but if you get some obscure coin with a low market cap, it's very, very high risk. But so that was a dollar index. So if it falls down over the next couple of years, which it should, because people are getting smarter and they realize fiat is just debasing their own currencies all around the world. Christian Lagarde was saying, I heard on Twitter, how Bitcoin's not a currency. Well, damn right it's not a currency. It's better, right? It's like digital gold. Gold's a commodity. Bitcoin's a commodity. So it can be used as a currency, and people can use it as a currency. But yes, sometimes people call gold a currency or something like that. It's not, okay. But it's a call crypto. Well, I guess some cryptos could be currency if their protocol allows for inflations and stuff like that. I mean, that's just as bad as governments just increasing the inflation of the fiat, which is why I don't understand why these staking protocols, if you stake a certain coin and you get rewarded in that coin, the more people that stake, that means the more that coin's inflated. So you can never predict the market cap. I mean, the total supply of that coin, right? If you've got more than an amount of people that you think are going to stake, you're going to have to issue more of those coins. It's just going to devalue the very coin that you're holding. So you don't have that problem with Million Token. There's a fixed supply. Boom. That's it. That's why I really don't want to sell any of my Million Token ever or put it in liquidity, because you just never know where this thing's going to take off. And when people realize that, you just need people that with a high profile. So far, I haven't even looked at this in months, and it's just playing out perfectly. Let's just see if it keeps going down to these low levels, and then when it comes down to here, that's like October 2026. If we're when you're down to these low levels, it's probably time to get out of hard assets, because it's probably, the dollar's undervalued, it's going to go up. But I mean, if you're down here, I don't know. You should be well off if you've been in crypto for years. Let's see. I was looking at Matic. Where's I have Matic up here? This is Matic versus Bitcoin. So when you're looking at altcoins, always compare it with Bitcoin. I'm surprised. I am surprised because Matic's got a lot of use cases. It's down 60% compared to Bitcoin. Interesting enough, there's this trend line here I'm watching. So it can go down here. If it does, it could. I mean, I think it's a good time to buy now. but it could go down lower. If it goes down from the top to the bottom, say it comes down here, that's almost a 70% drop. 67. Anytime an altcoin drops like 70 or 80% or 90, 96%, always a good time to buy. Matic on the USD, not looking good. You know, this is kind of what I'm seeing. You know, it can come down a little lower, but according to, you know, Bitcoin versus Bitcoin, it looks cheap. I remember I sold Link was one of my bags I sold for Million Token. I'm kind of glad I did, because I was watching this trend line here, and it should have been way up here by now. I mean, it should basically, I thought it'd be up here by now, and it's down 70%. I mean, Link's still the number one protocol for oracles, I think. I sold Band recently too for Million Token, because I just think Link outperformed it. And then there's these white channels I've been following. I haven't pulled this up in months either. You know, we can't even get above that. Now, I think Link's a good buy if you're looking for deals. But I mean, the best deal right now is, you know, Million Token, but it's a new project, so of course there's high risk for that. You just don't know if this is going to survive. I think it will. When people start panicking, when they realize that the fiat is basically going to zero, there's that popular graph you saw of the dollar bill and the chart of the value of the dollar is going to zero over the last 100 years. But I mean, I don't understand why people aren't panicking now to get into hard assets, especially with all the restrictions and everything. I mean, banks, I don't think that you're going to have banks aren't even going to be around anymore. Everything's going to be just done online. You know, I remember when the banks shut down and you just had to go through the drive-through for your services. You know, I don't think it really affected much. The only thing you had to go to the bank for was probably for mortgages or to sign papers and stuff. Let's see. Serum. I was looking at Serum. This is Serum versus Tether or the dollar. Let's see how far down it's come down. Serum's got strong ties with Solana, down 50%, 44%. You know, I'm looking at this golden pocket right here. We came so close to touching that. Look at that. I might have said we're going to just take off with anyway. How much did I miss that by? Oh, 1.6%. Anyway, this is on the daily. What's it look on the weekly? Yeah, hasn't been about here very long. Yeah, I bought in looked like on day one, but should have bought in a whole lot more. I didn't even know what I was getting back here. I just saw something on Twitter and I was just buying a whole bunch of altcoins at the time. I think I had like 40 ETH and I just spent 1 ETH on each altcoin and I got like 40 altcoins and Serum was one of them. And I think at the time, ETH was either $400 or $200, you know, one of those two. And this is Serum versus Bitcoin. Again, we're down quite a bit. 42%. Matic, ETH, you know, still below 3,000. Versus Bitcoin. This is ETH versus Bitcoin now. So as long as we're above this exponential ribbon, I mean, overall, ETH is outperforming Bitcoin, though. Speaking about altcoins, just look up the altcoin cycle. You know, nothing's changed since yesterday. Same deal. We're here. We're probably repeating history like here, and I'm just waiting for the launch. So once this launch happens, I'm not going to be buying more Million Token, right? This is the time to buy Million Token. You know, if we start doing let's go vertical again, which we probably won't do, because I think this was an anomaly with the high demand with a new coin and the liquidity. So now that the liquidity's basically stabilized, it's not going to have the price is going to skyrocket. Million on versus ETH liquidity, which I thought that was an interesting chart, versus million USD liquidity. I actually went to QuickSwap. I mean, not QuickSwap, Uniswap. So somebody said on the Discord that he thought you could buy more million token with ETH versus USD. So I compared it and it was basically the same. If you bought like 1 ETH worth of million token versus the same dollar amount with million token, it was the same. But I just thought the graphs for the liquidity looked interesting. So yeah, most of the liquidity is still on Uniswap. So I still say the big news is, Carl buying he's got over 5,000 million token now. He probably still has another $10,000 to spend on million token. I think he's just going to be patient. He's probably not going to buy any more today. And let's see now. I think most people probably buy million token with USDC, right? I hardly ever look at with ETH. But here I'm looking at it with ETH now. Let's look at the swaps. Let me refresh it. Not too many big buys here. Nothing more than like 100. Oh, here's 188. He's got $80,000 million token. Oh, this is is this Carl's? Yeah, this is Carl. I wasn't even looking for him. He just popped up. Yeah, he's the big buyer right now. I usually look at USDC. I usually buy with USDC just because of taxes. When I do a buy or sell, or I like to do it with USDC because it just tells the government, look, this is what I paid for it. If you buy a million token with ETH, you have to this is the price of ETH at the time. Or if you go to the blockchain quick enough, let me just pull up anybody's thing here. Okay, so this was 64. Oh, that was a transfer. Oh, these are all transfers. Interesting. There's no buyers or sells here. Picked a bad address. My point is, if you pull up Etherscan now and you look at transactions, they don't put the price in from when you bought or sold. So yeah, so he bought. I don't know whose wallet this is. So he got 4,000 tokens. And how did he pay it? Where is it? Oh, this is liquidity. Liquidity from Uniswap. But my point, if you do any buyers or sells with USDC, you can always pull it up on the Etherscan, and USDC is USDC. But if you buy it with ETH and you want to save your records, take a snapshot of Etherscan right after you do your purchase, and then it'll have the right information for you. And another one is you could use that AppZeron app, which I think is easier because you don't have to, this looks kind of, you could read it, but there's a lot of information here. On AppZeron, you could put in your addresses and or anybody's address, and it'll show you what you paid for gas fees and, what you paid for your token and what you sold it for. But I guess I can close that out. Okay, what else is there on the chat? Well, that 40 ETH, let me try to think. Yeah, I think it came out ahead on that. Was with those 40 altcoins I got Some of them did well and some of them didn't. My best one I think that did well was the PRQ Parsec. I mean, at one point that thing went skyhawk. I mean, it went up to like $17,000, and the only thing I put in was like $200 or $400. That was crazy. So you can have some losers, but if you get a big bag of various altcoins, you're gonna have a couple winners that will wipe away any losses. I remember I sold 65 ETH for something called DMG, which basically went bankrupt. They got too many. They got overregulated, and they said, "Well, we're not going to put up with it." But the reason why I went in heavy on that was because Timothy Draper, the guy who's big on Bitcoin, he I think was partnered into it or something like. He had some connection with DMG, and so I'm like, okay, well, I'll just take. At that point, I just didn't want to hold any more ETH because I remember, I think this was 2017 or 18, where all the altcoins are just crashing harder than Bitcoin. I'm like, I'm done with ETH, and they're like, but I put it into another altcoin. But anyway, I just thought because some well-known brand or name, big name was behind it. I thought, well, he did his research, but no, I should have taken Ivan on Tech's advice because he covered it one stream when he was doing streams in the morning. He was saying, well, he looked at the papers, and a lot of their assets were in cars, which depreciate. So that was a big red flag. He did his research. He didn't get into it. So that's what you get. If you do your own research and you understand what you get, you're going to do better. Renzo says, please tell the people that have version 1 on Solana need to bridge to ETH. Version 1 will be unsupported. Yeah, I haven't been on Solana yet. I'm not sure what that means, but he says there's a version 2 now. Yeah. It would be good if you can tweet about this or make a video about it, so to let other people know, and let Discord know, so they could spread the word. Let me know because I don't want to do any mistakes on Solana. Okay, so Xander says, I was thinking that could, let me just share the screen. So Xander says, I was thinking that could not rebound because gas fees climbed so high after EIP 1559. My thoughts. So you're saying it could not rebound? Well, I wouldn't just pick on million token. You got to just put it in with all coins, not altcoins. So I think that statement is not true, because you're basically saying, if the bull market continues, that well, I do know what you're kind of saying, because it's not on like an exchange, and you have to buy it on Uniswap or something with the gas fees. I mean, if you're worried about the gas fees, just buy million token on Gate.io, and you don't have to worry about the gas fees. You just have to worry about the transfer fees between the exchange and your wallet, unless you want to just keep on the exchange. So, I think to some degree, the coins in general that trade on ERC20 might get hit because of the gas fees, but it really hasn't stopped people from buying. I think there's so many altcoins on like FTX or Coinbase or Binance. The best benefit of Uniswap, right, is you can get on these early projects before they get on the exchanges. So yeah, I think when Million Token first came out, I wasn't paying $90 or $40. I think they were like, wasn't it like 10-cent fees on gas back in early July before the EIP 1559. So yeah, I mean, you have a point, but I wouldn't say Million Token is not going to rebound because of the gas fees. I mean, you can go on Polygon. If you're buying a small amount of Million Token, I know it sucks to pay for the fees on Uniswap and the bridge fees for Polygon, but you can go to crypto.com, but transfer your USDC there or buy Matic, transfer that to Polygon with no fees, as I understand it. I still haven't done it yet. I think the problem for me was can you have a direct transfer from your bank to crypto.com? I'm asking because the last time I did it, I paid with a credit card and I got charged like $30 in fees. So with Coinbase, I just have my checking account linked and I deposit my money with no fees. And then I would have to wait like a week for the funds to clear before I can move it to my wallet. But if I didn't want to do that, I could do a wire transfer. Coinbase charges me $10. My bank charges me $30. I'm out $40, but at least I could transfer the money out of Coinbase quickly. So I do that sometimes when I have, a couple $1,000s to play with. But yeah, if you're worried about gas fees and you don't have a lot of money and you don't want to pay the high fees, two choices. You got Gate.io or you can go to crypto.com. If you can get your money there without paying fees, then do that. If you have to wait a week because for the bank funds to clear, you have to wait a week. But you should be able to transfer your Matic or USDC to the Polygon network, as I understand it, and that would save you a lot in fees. But once you're on the Polygon network, okay, then you're at the mercy of the liquidity, right? So you get 63.66 million token for $1,000 here on Polygon, and here on Uniswap. Let me update this because I haven't refreshed it. Okay, let's just say 3,000 to make it obvious. $3,000 on Uniswap gets you 187 million token, and $3,000. That's not too bad. Wow, it's gotten better. I wonder if the price is cheaper on Polygon right now, because that's another thing you gotta look at. So right now, let me refresh this. Yeah, we got million token on all these different places. You have to really be careful where the prices are. So it's $15.38 on Polygon. And let me refresh this. So it's $15.38 on Polygon. And it's cheaper there. And it's $15.67 on Uniswap. Interesting. And so not only is it cheaper on Polygon at this moment right now in time, but you don't even pay less than a penny in fees. So right now it's a great time to buy million token on Polygon. It's basically at a discount. Let's see whether there is there. LP moving to Polygon makes gas irrelevant. Yeah, I hope so. I wish I knew more about Solana. I just love the project so much, but I have to. When I checked Solana, it wasn't Solana here. Solana. See, it's not even telling me. It's USDC. Oh, here it is. Okay, let me swap this around. Ray. Let's see if they have USDC here. USDC. I'm guessing this is it, right? Oh, here it is. $3,000 here. Will get me what? It's giving me an error message. Maybe it's just too much money. It's really not that much liquidity there. I think there was like 150 million token liquidity or something crazy like that. If I had $100. It's not even giving me a swap. Anyway, I wonder why that was the case. Let me go back. Solana. Somebody needs to do a video on Solana with Million Token. But I'm surprised it's been on here since Polygon and nobody's really done. Let's see now. If I sold 100 million token, that would give me 1.5. What? 1.57 USDC? That doesn't make any sense. Okay. 100. I'm not, maybe I'm not, something's not right here. Yeah. So obviously I have to do my research with Solana, but I know the liquidity is not there, just like on SushiSwap at the moment. Gas has been under $40 today. Well, I remember back in July, it was like under $1. But yeah, $40 is a good deal. And I know we had pulled up Carl's buys earlier today. He was paying like $48 per buy. Renzo asked me, do you think that the NFT craze that's going on right now has moved investors' attention away from projects like MM? Nope. No, I don't. Absolutely not. It's just two different things, apples and oranges. NFTs are a separate monster all by itself. I think the craze is gonna die down, but maybe not, because it's we have a whole generation of kids now that are gonna look at the NFTs kind of like I did as baseball cards. It's gonna be a collectible item. So it's probably going to be a good buy but you have to buy the ones that people want, and eventually everybody can just make their own NFTs. I mean, there's some really nice ones out there. I like the ones that are professional looking, like a professional cartoon, but they're all individual. Slightly, everything's different. I don't like the CryptoPunks, but they were the first to do it, so that's why they probably will be around. So when these people that are buying NFTs now, let's say, the ones that are really expensive, no kids are buying them. Those are people that are like, 20s, 30s, 40s, they're, because they got the money. So, but the kids that are buying NFTs now, like I just don't know nobody knows what's the next hot thing is going to be. But the people that are younger than me probably know. But as they get older, and let's say they sell their NFTs today, when they turn my age, like 40 or 50 or whatever, and they start middle age and they've got the income, they're gonna have that craving. Like people my age want a Babe Ruth card or a Thurman Munson Yankee card or whatever. They want to relive that childhood. They might go back and say, hey, I remember I used to have that special NFT. And if they want to buy it, they're going to be at the mercy of making an offer on somebody that might sell it. So I think NFT is here to stay, because it's just gonna bring back childhood memories for those people that are buying now, and they sell, and then they want to it's just like the Pokemon cards, the craze, right? I didn't understand it, but I know that when I see people buying thousands of dollars on Pokemon cards, and you have the unboxings on YouTube and stuff, it's just a craze. Usually that's an indicator that the top's in, because I saw the same thing in 2017 or the 2008 financial bubble or whatever. Artwork, just everything was going up in price, and that kind of scared me when I saw people paying $1,000 for Pokemon cards, because that was a flag to me that I think the top was in. So, but the NFTs, this is early stages. I think there's still some growth there, but it's just it's so hard to price. I can't predict the future, but I don't think it's gonna affect, drawing people away from other projects. It's just a whole separate thing. It's it's more speculative than obviously Bitcoin, and anybody can create an NFT. I saw the vampire NFTs. I thought were really cool. I saw some I can't even describe it, like a skeleton type thing. I saw a couple skeleton NFTs. They were all really cool, but they're all also on the Ethereum network, which I can't understand why people just don't put them on the Polygon network, because the gas fees would be more expensive than the NFT itself. So I'm not looking to buy any NFT if my gas fee is going to be higher than an NFT. Renzo says input version 2 of on Solana. You're gonna have to teach us, man. You're gonna have to tweet something about that, do a video, get your mic set up, and just educate us. Nobody's talking about million token on Solana, but I think Solana is going to be huge. They have NFTs there also. Okay, Xander says, what's the best way or place to move my million token USD liquidity pool from Uniswap? You want to move it to the Polygon network? So, I have never provided liquidity, so I'm not the right person to ask. But if you want to get your money out of the, I don't even know where you want to move it. I'm assuming the Polygon network. You'd have to remove your liquidity, and I'm sure that there's going to be some fees on that, right? Because of the Ethereum blockchain. So I don't know. You have to pull out your USDC and your million token, I assume, pay those fees, and then once you have them in your wallet, you're gonna have to bridge those over to Polygon. So here's one tip. It's cheaper to bridge over ETH to Polygon. The fees are cheaper. It's a one transaction. But if you have an altcoin like USDC or Matic or something, I think there's going to be 2 fees that you're going to be charged when you bridge. So convert that to ETH. Of course, you're going to get charged for your fees that on the Ethereum blockchain for that. And then you bridge that over to Polygon, and then you would convert your ETH if you wanted to you're going to have to buy some Matic somewhere, or ask Astro to send you some. If you're not already on the Polygon network, you're going to need some Matic to do your trades, just like you need ETH on the Uniswap for the gas fees. You're going to need Matic for gas fees on the Polygon network. So I hope that answers your question. I know it drives me nuts when I want to buy something on Ethereum blockchain. I have to make sure I have enough ETH, or if the Polygon network, you have to make sure you have Matic. But you don't need a lot of Matic because the fees are like less than a penny. Even on limit order fees, I think my fee was a penny. So you buy, $10 worth of Matic and just stick it in a wallet somewhere, and you'll never have to worry about gas fees, unless something changes. But they've got proof of stake there, so I don't think you're going to have this giant increase in gas fees on the Polygon network, because it's totally different. I'm hoping when ETH 2.0 comes out, it'll be similar to what we have on Polygon network, and then you won't have to worry about gas fees again. P-Row, Coinbase Pro, I think you can transfer quickly. You don't have to wait a week. Okay, this is what I meant about the week wait. If you transfer money from your bank account to Coinbase Pro, which is what I do all the time, you could instantly buy and trade funds there. But if you want to remove funds to your wallet or transfer out of the exchange, Coinbase needs your funds to clear first. That's what I was saying. So if you wanted to buy a million token really fast, you'd have to wire your funds to Coinbase just so the funds are cleared, and then they don't mind you transferring your funds out. So it could be $100 or $1,000 or $10,000. If you do a regular transfer from your bank, you'll get it instantly. and you'll be able to buy and sell stuff on Coinbase, but you wouldn't be able to transfer it out to your MetaMask wallet to buy Million Token with it. You'd have to wait probably 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. Sometimes, it depends over the weekend and stuff. If you did the transfer on Monday, they might clear on Thursday or Friday. But if you do your transfer on Friday, you're gonna have Sundays the banks are closed, so that's gonna hurt you. But I usually it's 5 to 7 days, they say, so before you can move your funds out of Coinbase, because they need that fund. They need the funds to clear first. Is Polygon Network a DEX? And yeah, basically it is, but it's in a controlled. It is, yes. And the simple answer is yes. It's a DEX. Here's your Uniswap interface, right? And then here's your QuickSwap interface for the Polygon Network. It works the same way. It's a little more centralized though, I think. So hopefully they won't have any problems. I have a little bit of Million Token on the Polygon Network, not a lot. So, but it's definitely good for scalping, but also, of course, for these limit orders. You can't do this on Uniswap, but on SushiSwap, you still can't. But it's there. I guess they're working on it. But until they improve the liquidity on SushiSwap, the limit orders, the only place you do a limit order for Million Token, I think, is on QuickSwap. You might be able to do it on the Serum exchange linked on the Solana network. I don't have that pulled up right now. But yeah, the liquidity is not there though. So we're still early right now with Million Token this cheap. I mean, it's good to scalp limit orders, and I love limit orders because you're never going to get screwed. Like, let's say you go to Uniswap and you do your slippage, and let's say I'm doing a big buy, and I'm not going to have a 0.5% slippage. I usually do like 5% or something like that, because I want my transaction to go through, and I'll choose the high gas fees. I lost my train of thought. But with limit orders, that's right. With limit orders, I know I'm not going to get overcharged, right? Because if I have a high slippage here because I want my transaction to go through, maybe Uniswap might give me the higher price. It might charge me more because I told them I go up to 5% or something like that. Limit orders, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, that was my point. You might do, if you've got a big order on Polygon, I would just put a few small limit orders in, because I don't know, they probably won't partial fill you. Let's say the price is coming down and it's coming close to your limit order, but let's say you have a big order, I don't know, $1,000 or more. But if it can't fill that order, but you have a big order, it may not go through. But so you would put $100 or $200, several of those smaller orders in, so they would get filled. It could even be at the same price, but I wouldn't put a huge order right now on Polygon Network with a limit order. I mean, a big order for me on Polygon Network would be $1,000 or more. I would probably do. I've done $50 before, but like $100 or $200 would be my maximum I would put as a limit order. But I would just do several of those, just so I know it would get filled. Yeah. Someone says it's a DEX if a blockchain smart contract executes the exchanges. So yeah, there you go. I just think it's a little more centralized, just like I do with the PancakeSwap, with because I know CZ they could freeze your funds over there. You got somebody writes, some blockchains are pseudo centralized because of its proof of stake, and there are whales holding most of the stake. Okay. Right. QuickSwap is the DEX for Polygon. Yeah. So when you go to QuickSwap, you're trading on the Polygon network. So let's see. Here's on the Polygon network. We've got 269 addresses. It looks just like Etherscan, right? Except this is the Polygon network. Go to polygonscan.com. You've got a total supply of 34,000 million token on the Polygon network. Here's your holders. The top holder has 3,832 million token. 11% of the supply. So it's very similar. Let's see now if you bought a big order. See, small order. He probably transferred in a lot. Wow, he's got 116 transfers or things here. $200 in add liquidity. This might be TechLead's address. I'm not sure about that though. But I wanted to show you was the transfer cost is cheap. Let me go back to holders. So I'm just trying to find a transaction where somebody bought some million token. So liquidity transfer in. So yeah, here's your value of Matic. The transaction fee was, I'm surprised it was 10 cents even. That's interesting. But look at all the tokens transferred. Usually if you just do a simple buy, it's not much. It's my luck of the draw as far as looking for examples. So I guess I can get rid of this. So if we come down to these lower levels again of below $14, I should have some money by then to buy some more. I'm not going to go heavy though. My last purchase was at $14 or just under. And then after I bought, it went up to like $14.50, I think it was. I think I bought right around here, and then the spike right here was me. And then that's when I held. I think I bought like $6,000 or $7,000 worth. I traded like a couple altcoins for that. Just then I became, the 1%er. I'm like, okay, I'm done, because I didn't want to get out of this box here. I didn't want to buy up here. It's like, these are really great buys here at the wick. If we come down here, I'll buy a bigger bag. But hopefully we break out higher. We have to get above $16 for me to get really bullish. As I said way early on when I did these videos, I'll buy some more if the price comes down here, which is I'm doing that right now. And then once the price goes up higher and higher and higher, let's say we go to $20, $30, $40. I mean, I'm not going to buy anymore. I mean, I put in the hard work now. And I know people are going to ask me if once we have these nosebleed prices again of $200, are you buying anymore? I'm like, well, why would I want to buy a million token at $200 when I could buy, 10 of them today? So you just gotta manage your money. If you go down lower, if we go down lower, I'll probably buy one more big bag. But if there comes a point where you have to make a decision, right? If this product's going to continue, if the whole market's going up, Bitcoin and the altcoins are skyrocketing, and million token is still going down for whatever reason, it would be concerning for me. It would be concerning for me. But I'm not going to worry about that until it happens. And I even said earlier on Andre's video, it could go to zero because I manage my risk tolerance. This is was when I first got in, it was a small percent of my portfolio, right? As it went up, it became a huge percent of my portfolio, but now it's back to being a small percentage of my portfolio. So it could go back down to lower levels or whatever. It's just like with me and DMG, that I put in 65 ETH in that, and that went to zero. And I'm not crying over it. If this goes to zero, which it shouldn't. I mean, it's got value because the community gives it value. But when the community doesn't give it value, it's still going to be around. It can't go bankrupt. Not like a centralized, thing that I got into. That was another mistake. Is I'm not going to buy a crypto that has like a central entity type thing. I want more something that's decentralized. It's like I don't even want to buy stock, right? Because the CEOs of companies are so corrupt. Let's see now. Yeah. So that's so far. I think I answered all your questions so far. So for me, this is just a waiting game. People that are in crypto who survive are very patient. So yeah, I kind of created this YouTube channel to help you people because I figured there'd be a lot of new people in crypto, who got in up here because they're new. They want to chase the gains and they're gonna get hurt. So if you haven't sold and and you want to survive, you buy the dips. And I always say when it drops 50% from your previous buy, buy another big bag. If you think the project's still good, but also manage your risk, knowing that anything crypto could go to zero just about. I don't think it will, but just be prepared that it can happen. What's some other things doing? I was following it. Everybody was talking about Cardano for a while. I think I covered all my altcoins. Solana. This is Solana versus Bitcoin. This is a monster. This is on the daily chart. Let me put it on the weekly. It's going straight up. Remember what we saw with Matic? This is Matic versus Bitcoin, right? Down. We had Serum versus Bitcoin, down, right? And this is Solana versus Bitcoin. I think Sam at FTX is just buying it up. He's got billions of dollars buying it up. So let me look at Solana versus USDC or UST. Yeah, that was a good buy down here. Wanted to pull up like Cardano. I don't like Cardano. I have some Cardano, but I don't have a big bag. In fact, I haven't even looked at it in a while. I haven't even sold it yet, but it's on a separate wallet. If it was on the Ethereum blockchain, I probably would have sold it a while ago. Okay, let's look at Cardano versus Bitcoin. I think Cardano was one of the ones I sold ETH for Cardano. I would have bought more earlier on if Coinbase had listed it sooner. They were so slow listing Cardano. And then I had to get a model Trezor T to store my Cardano. Let's see now. Yeah, so earlier on, I was looking at, it broke through the exponential ribbon, came down, broke through it, came down, broke through it, came down. But now it's really, found its legs and it's moving. I haven't looked at this chart in many months. So let's take a look at the RSI. It was 84 here, came down, came down, came down. It's been going real strong since beginning of the year of January. I think that's where it was close to 2 cents. So this is Cardano versus Bitcoin. I bet you it's going to come back down and hit one of these the tops of the exponential ribbon. But look, we just had a huge pump this week. Looks like that bullish engulfing candle. Let me pull up Cardano with the USDC. So this goes back December 2017. I bought some Cardano here, and this is back when my mentality was not into crypto. And you get a 20% increase in a day. I know I sold because you don't even get that sometimes like that in a whole year in a stock market. And it was a good thing I did because 2018 the alts crashed. But let's see, where were we at the beginning of this year? Beginning of this year, somewhere around here. Cardano was like 24 cents. But I remember it came close to 2 cents. Yeah, right here in March. Oh, that was the Corona dump, wasn't it? March 9th, 2020. Man, imagine getting Cardano for 2 cents. And that would have been the double bottom. So it looks like we came down and retouched the exponential ribbon here, like we did here. Yeah, we could have another pump just like we had here. Come back down, retest. Let's see now. Let's see. I'm just reading the comments right now. Somebody says, recommend Sebastian of Moon YouTube channel. Okay, there you go. You could read it in the comments too. Although sometimes the comments they'll probably get, my chat log will probably get erased once I edit out the 5-minute intro. This is very good for recommendations for noobs. So somebody says DCA only invests what you can lose, which is, in crypto, that's very true. How to watch TA of BTC, etc. Thanks for your time and attention, Tim. You're welcome. I know right now it can feel boring because things are moving sideways, but that's usually a good time to buy because there's no more sellers. And I bet you the people that are in Million Token now, they probably have all their big bags already in Million Token. So if the price goes up, it'll be like more of an organic growth unless we attract some whales that push the price up high. So we got the 200 moving average here. That's at $19. Yeah, this right now is just a waiting game, being patient. Sometimes it's good that you're only getting paid every 2 weeks or whatever. So you're not putting a lot of money in. It's a forced way of DCA. This is a 3-day chart. So I could definitely see us going back down. If we go to the bottom of $13.66, I mean, if we go up to $20 and beyond, it doesn't matter if you get it at $13, $14, $15, $16. Once we break out, I don't think we're going to see these levels again. Just like with Cardano. Where's Cardano? It trades sideways for a period of time. Let me get rid of this. You know, it went up, came down, sideways. Some sideways accumulation. We could have one more final dump. That was that coronavirus though. I bet you if we didn't have the coronavirus dump, it would have, this bull run here would have taken off here. But you know, is Bitcoin, BLX, double pump like we had in Million Token, came down. You know, sideways movement here. So we have a 1 peak, 2 peak. We had really 2 double bottoms, this one and this one. Million Token. You know, we could have 1 peak here. We had a second peak. And, you know, I'm thinking we could kind of come down again to these levels of, you know, the low $14 or, you know, $13.50. If you come down here again, I'm buying. I think the only reason why we haven't come down here yet is because Carl's bought like, you know, 4,000 or 5,000 Million Token like the last 3 days. We'll see what the market will do when he's done buying. He's got another 10,000. So I got mine at $14, my last big bag. So I'm gonna wait. I would want to buy it below $14, but we'll see. We got this white dotted line. We got support here and here and here and kind of there. So if you don't want to play, if you don't want to wait for a very low bottom, you can wait until like $14.30, and we might even bounce at this top of this yellow box at like $14.75. So, but a Bitcoin, you know, it had its shakeout, right? We had that coordinated FUD attack, you know, China banning Bitcoin, and it's like again, you know, every year they announced this back in early September, right? Now, why are they all just talking about it now? It was because of the Bitcoin's futures expired yesterday. You know, they just want to bring the price down to 43,000, which is it's still below 43,000, or 44,000. I think was the max pain price, but they wanted to bring the price down, you know, to fulfill the higher ups in trading Bitcoin, I guess. But yeah, that whole China FUD thing. They announced that early September, but they weren't talking about it until, you know, the Bitcoin's futures expiring was yesterday. Sponge Carl does things. Ask me, do you think the market will go lower? In the general sense, when you say market, I'm assuming you mean the crypto market in general. I think generally my answer would be no. But like, no, if you're not following Will on Twitter, you should be. He says, well, you know, the market can go down, Bitcoin could go down another 1 or 2 grand, but overall, people buying. What did he write? It says the BTC floor price has been set, large bids across all major exchanges. Bitcoin came within $1,300 of my on-chain floor model and is still $148,000 away from his top model. Do we need to trade a few thousand lower? He says, I could care less. The asymmetry of being long over the next few months is huge. And I'm reading this because I think the same way. You know, it could go low. Can the market go lower? Yeah, it can go lower. But I'm not worried about it, especially with Jerome Powell. The Fed just said earlier this week, you know, they're not going to raise rates until maybe November, and then smaller hike rates until over the next couple of years. He wants that like 2% inflation, and we all know the inflation is much higher. Somebody asked me, is it cool to ask me an opinion about another crypto? You know, I really just talk about what I know. I mean, you can ask, but if you're trying to shill something, it's not cool. You know that proper etiquette. But anyway, hi Tim, big fan. Thank you. What happened to liquidity on Uniswap? It was above 1 million recently. Well, I hope it's going to Polygon. So I hope the liquidity is moving to Polygon. I mean, there was so much liquidity on Uniswap. It was almost too much. Like, because we were only trading in a narrow band. So, but that's where I think the liquidity is probably moving to. I know Carl's, educating people that we need to get liquidity on Polygon. More people would trade there. It's because the fees are lower. I think the last live stream I did, somebody that was providing liquidity on Uniswap saying he was actually making more money in fees there. So, it's hard to pull people to pull the liquidity from Uniswap if they're making more money there than on Polygon. But, I'm not the expert because I don't provide liquidity. I just gobble up those MM. Anyway. Yeah. He says, need Carl to stop buying so I can get that $13 buy. Yeah. That's just the market, right? It's free market. I'm glad he's getting it below $16 though. Yeah, I'm very happy for him. I'll be a lot happier for him when, or for all holders when this thing breaks $20. So if we came down this trend line, we've broken this green line a couple of times on the 4-hour chart. So we have to make a new high, right? So, this is a big high here. That's at 20. What's that? Yeah, $22 there. I mean, we'd be really on our way if we break that. But we really have to break this around $17.53. No, forget the whole, moving averages. Just what would be a new high? I would say we got two peaks here. This one and number 2 here. So we have to break above. I'd say $17, but you got that wick there too. If we get above here and make a new high, that would be good. If we get above this hump here of $21, $22, if we get above that, you can kiss these lower prices down here goodbye. Like, good luck. Just start DCAing in. I mean, if you're waiting for the bottom and we start making highs of $17, you might say, well, we might get rejected over on this moving average here and come down and retest. And then if we go up higher and we make another high of, $22, I would be sweating it out if you thought you were going to buy the bottom and now we're already at $22. So that's a nice thing about DCA, dollar cost averaging. You just buy regularly. If you already have a big bag, and like me, I've got high risk, but I got so much of this stuff that if I sold my million token now, I know I could drive the price down to $4. But when we get to these higher prices of $200 or $1,000, and the liquidity's there, I could sell small amounts at a time without crashing the price. Says, do we know if TechLead sold all his tokens at $1? We know that's not the case. Right? The price jumped up too fast. The liquidity wasn't there. So the tokens that I think I think the story was he first put in 50,000 and those sold off quickly. I don't know how much was sold at $1. I mean, you can go to the blockchain and look at it, but it went up so fast that he didn't need to provide $1 million initially for liquidity. But I think it would have been nice if initially all the tokens sold for $1, because then we wouldn't have this discrepancy on the charts of it going straight up like that. It just makes no sense. That now we're paying for it. What did Bitcoin do early on? Let me take a look. When it was like 6 cents, right? Look at that. It went straight up. You know. It says, or did he sell later tokens at higher levels of LP above $1? I think that's what happened. You know, what's I'm sure he was the only one providing liquidity, unless people that were buying. I think it was after a couple of days of Million Token, he was saying on his YouTube channel, "Hey, provide liquidity, and you can make money making fees that way." And some people are making a lot of money. And if you provide a lot of liquidity compared to the pool itself, then you're going to get the majority of the fees. So I'm sure Tech Lead, with all his Million Tokens, got the majority of the fees, and probably the same on Polygon Network. I don't know if there's a lot of big players of liquidity providing on Polygon. In fact, I think I have a Polygon liquidity. Do I have a link for that? It's in here somewhere. I gotta get more organized. Yeah, here it is. So you got, it's like 20 people providing liquidity. I think this is this right? Somebody's is providing 53% of the liquidity, and the next person is providing 20%. So basically, this guy, whoever this address is collecting more than half the fees, if I understand that correctly. So I wish there was somebody else that could talk about this, because somebody that provides liquidity. So yeah, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people are providing liquidity. And I remember Carl on one of his streams, he put in like $500 or something like that and was providing liquidity, and it was like already 4 or 5% of the pool. So you don't have to put a lot in. And so that, I mean, if you move your liquidity from Uniswap over to Polygon and you just take a bigger chunk of this liquidity, you're going to get higher, you're going to get more in fees that way, right? Because now you're going to be a big fish in the liquidity pool on Polygon, where you might be a small fish providing liquidity in Uniswap. So hopefully that makes sense. Well, it's 3:12 p.m. Eastern time right now. I've been on for about an hour and 44 minutes. Such a lag on the YouTube studio. Somebody asked me, from your experience, does many coins go through the same price evolution? Seems like that Bitcoin in the early days is very similar to Million Token. Yeah, I mean, I even made a video about that. You can check it out on my channel about how I compare, the early days of Million Token to the early days of Bitcoin and Million Token. I think I compared it to 2013, but basically, the general rule is, you have a parabolic move up and then a correction. You can see that with any coin, and you can even look at it with the stock market, right? When everybody you have a move up until you have a bear market. This is a bear market, so it's the same thing with anything, whether it's crypto or stocks or the S&P 500. or even, Solana, as great as it is, right? This is on the daily chart. Like if you didn't see what was coming, right? And you saw this, you're like, well, why would I buy a coin that's down? Oh my God, it went down 50%. It was $40 on June 17th. This is on Coinbase. Yeah, Coinbase didn't list it very soon. Let me see if I can find it on Binance. Binance, by the way, the fees are cheaper. So you can go to Binance US and get your anything basically, and the fees are cheaper than Coinbase Pro. I have both because if you want to sell near the top and Coinbase is down, you better have another way to get your funds out or to sell, right? Because Coinbase is notorious for going down when there's a big surge or a big price drop. So this goes all the way back to September of 2020. So it went down 60% there from $3 to $1.30, let's say. And so you have it started off real bad. When it started off at $3, but it's $137 now, for crying out loud. But you had this big pump and then dump, right? Double bottom. So you have a big pump. You just never know when the drop's going to come in. I don't know. Keeps going up, up, and up, and up, 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 up. And you might think, well, is that the dump? Let me see what that correction would be. That's almost a 70% correction right there for Solana. You got for $60. Oh, this is recent news. That went down to 20. And then I bought some there. And but I also bought some down here at the dip. But it looks like I had some buy orders down here that didn't get filled. And I guess you could call this a double bottom too, right? You had a bottom, here, and then you had another one right there. So now we have another parabolic move. So it looks like I bought some down here at one point back in June, and now I'm up 542% on Solana. Now this is a big move. How much of a percent of that? Let's say you got somewhere down here at the bottom. It's a 600% move. So in general, if you have a parabolic move, you're looking for at least, you can start dollar cost averaging at a 30% drop all the way down to like 70 to 90%. Solana doesn't seem to drop more than 50% though. So we had a 42% drop, and we know it's a strong project. At least I think so. A 50% drop would be here. If we go back to these lower levels, that would be a 65% drop, and that price would be $72. I don't think we're gonna go that low. I think this could have been the bottom here, but that's why you dollar cost average, and you find projects that might be better deals. So when you've been in crypto long enough as I have, and you've got a big bag of Bitcoin, and you're not gonna, you really don't want to touch it because you're gonna have to pay taxes, Then you could experiment with other coins like altcoins. And that's what I did with Million Token. So that's why I don't mind where some of my altcoin bags, if they go to zero, this is just, speculative investment. But the fundamentals I see in Million Token are basically the same as Bitcoin. I'm not concerned about, the security of, the Ethereum blockchain getting hacked. I think it's pretty secure. And I mean, people start seeing Million Token as a store of value without having to pay all the electricity costs for miner fees. It could gain adoption. That's why I bought it. So we have the parabolic move. We're consolidating. We have a capitulation event. I'd say here, and we might have another one somewhere over here. I don't know if it's going to go down to $11 though. Especially if Bitcoin turns around. I think we could be at $45,000 again next week. I don't think Million Token's going to drop unless you've got some panic sellers saying, "Oh, I want to get out of Million Token and buy a Bitcoin." But that that could be with any altcoin. I'm not picking on Million Token. If Bitcoin starts doing a crazy run up, and the altcoins start going down, right? It can go down to this red line, although it didn't here, but it did go below the green line. So if the altcoins take a crap, then that's going to apply pressure on any altcoin. It'll turn around. Experience says it'll turn around. It'll go back up. So we're in the green box for me. That means it's altcoin season. And then when we're in the red box on the RSI, for me, alts are going down. Yeah. I don't even think we've seen the beginning of the altcoin cycle yet, where it just goes crazy for like a few months, 3 months or so. It should, though. It should start pretty soon. And if you look at the MACD, we went way up here. And we're only down here right now. And even on the stochastic RSI, we haven't even broken oversold territories yet, or however you want to call it. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap it up. It's a pleasure, people. And hope everybody has a good weekend. Everybody stay safe out there. If you like this stuff, give me a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Thank you.